Welcome back to Search for Mighty Max, the show where me and my brother search for, find, and talk about toys. So I'm still working on the nostalgia shrine, particularly that top shelf. I have some Futurama figures. I have some Bravest Warriors figures. I wasn't sure which Chris Kirkman figure to open, so I'll include a segment for that in this part. But I did want to talk about Futurama for a minute because we have some brand new episodes that came out, and I've been trying to watch them. They are well. Let me say this. Sometimes it's a good thing when things you appreciate and love to watch and participate in. It's a good thing when they come back, and other times not so much. And I think it's going to be up to every person for themselves to decide, is what I'll say. that's my disclaimer. So I pulled up because I work with numbers in my job. I've always kind of been good with numbers. I like graphs. I like visual representation of stuff. This is a ratingsgraph.com, and it can show literally any TV show that you want to see. And you can see the ratings, you can see the viewers, that type of stuff. So I was watching the new Futurama episodes because I'm a big Futurama fan. Always been I've always appreciated the science fiction. I've just always appreciated science fiction, and I think Futurama would do a good job with writing in science fiction stories. The characters are interesting. So when I heard that it was coming back, I was like, I will definitely check it out. I'm not going to get my hopes up, though, because it's always kind of hit or miss with these types of things. Ninja Turtles, obviously you saw from this episode, I was having a good time with it. That was fun to see another movie come out. And once again, I was like, I will go see it. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I hope that I like it. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different and I don't like it. Maybe it's different and I do like it. Maybe it's the same and I like it. Maybe it's the same and I don't like it. Like, who knows, right? Crapshoot. So Futurama came back, and I'm just going to show you kind of these ratings here because I think it's so interesting. So here's all the ratings, kind of going up and down for every episode. So these are all the episodes for the whole series that have come out. Here's the number of votes that it got, which I think is important, right? Like, what's your sample size? How many people are participating in this and voting? And then you have whatever this is, some kind of history thing. And then it shows all the rest of the episodes, and you can sort it by the season or the episode or the title or the year or the total votes or the average rating. So pretty interesting site, right? I can go through and look through all this stuff. So what prompted me to actually go look was I actually watched this episode, which is of the latest season. It's called Rage Against the Vaccine. And it was kind of, they took the idea about the pandemic and the COVID-19 and all that stuff, and they made an episode. So this by far has been the lowest rated. This by far has been the lowest rating for an episode of Futurama so far. And I know that this is showing from 6 to 10 and not from 1 to 10. So it is showing kind of a zoomed in picture of what's going on. I mean, it's not like a 2 or 3, right? It's not like the worst thing imaginable. But it is the lowest rated episode so far of Futurama. And it is what has caused me to kind of go, I don't know if I want to watch all the rest of these. There was another one that came out that I haven't seen. It's called Zap Gets Canceled. I'm like, dude, what is going on with trying to modernize some of this stuff? You know, the concept of Futurama was not always about, these are the current events that are going on, right? That doesn't make sense. It's in the future. Those things aren't happening. They have already happened. So you puts the writers kind of in an interesting kind of quandary because it's like, these things are happening now. Do you make a reference to them? Whatever. I know that I was reading on Reddit when the other seasons came out before this, and some folks were like, there was one joke about the Kardashians or something that Fry made. Like, the Kardashians was the joke. And it was like, Fry, dude, you wouldn't know who the fuck that is because you didn't lived through that time period. You're frozen in 99, so why would you know of those things? And I mean, the show can poke fun and say these different things about current or events that have happened, but when you throw in just lazy fucking writing like that, it doesn't make the show enjoyable. In fact, it takes me out of it. And I mean, like I said before, everybody has their own opinion. My opinion is it takes me out of the show. I don't appreciate it anymore. And it's not fun. So same thing with this whole pandemic idea. You can't make that the root of an episode and still expect it to be funny. Like, I don't know, it was terrible. It was so bad. So I was feeling kind of like, fuck, dude, this show is like, what happened here? But I can still appreciate, what has been and what has been going on. So I figured I would just go back and look at some of these previous episodes, just kind of talk about it, remember that I still like the show and I don't have to watch the new one just because it has my favorite characters and characters that I've watched. It doesn't mean that I have to commit and keep watching it. So I got to remind myself, like, I don't have to just because I'm a fan of it. I can still be a fan of this show and not have to watch the new stuff. So that's where Futurama died for forever, for real, for me. But there are some other kind of low points. 40% Lead Belly was an episode of Futurama that was not very good. Gosh, I don't even remember what that. Is that the one? Hold on. 40% Lead Belly. Bender finally fulfills his dream of becoming a folk singer by creating a copy of a famous guitar. See, I don't even remember that episode because it wasn't good. The butter junk effect, that was where Leela and Amy were like getting all buff so they could fight as like butterflies. Yo Leela Leela, that's the one where she's like a TV show writer for some kind of like kids show. Oh, that's bad. That's a bad episode. A Leela of Her Own, another Leela-centric episode where she plays baseball in Women's Baseball League, and she's trying not to become the worst player in the world, but then she does. Too bad. That's Lobstertainment. That was a Zoidberg-centric episode that's just not very good. Binless Love. Binless Love. Angeline. Yeah, I barely remember that episode. There's a Fembot. Yeah, that sounds kind of lame. that's why it's rated low here. But you can see, like, as I go up, they go higher. There's still like I would still watch that episode. I don't know about that one, but I would still watch that other episode. Bender in the Wind. I think that was another country thing. So like Bender, whenever magnets come near him, he his inhibition is reduced. And then one of the running gags is that he wants to be like a folk singer or a country star or whatever. So there's a couple episodes that have that, but when it becomes the focus of an episode, it's just not the best, right? All right, so let's talk about some of the high points here. I'm glad they came back and made the movies. Those were cool. Looks like not a lot of people watched them, so that's too bad. But then the show came back, and this last season is really making those other seasons that I didn't really like as much when they first came out, which is season 6 and 7. So I didn't like them as much when they came out. There was definitely some good episodes that came out of there, so I was glad that they did come back. But this latest season is making these look like Emmy award-winning episodes. I'm like, oh my god, they're so bad. But yeah, meanwhile, the true series finale for me was awesome. We had a Zoidberg episode where he actually finds somebody that he can be with, which was great. Murder on the Planet Express was kind of a take on The Thing, which was cool. Right, going back to science fiction, like let's talk about science fiction stuff and put that in the episodes. Don't make it about the fucking pandemic. It's like too soon. Like this, but hated it. Overclockwise, that was a cool episode because Bender is a computer essentially, so they overclocked him. Reincarnation, wow, I'm surprised it actually got like a decent voting. That was definitely a weird episode. There's like some anime versions of them. Cold Warriors, I like that one because it's hard to get a feel for Fry's family. because they're not around anymore. But it's like, well, he grew up. How did he grow up? So here's one with his brothers. Jurassic Park with his dog, obviously. Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings, also good. The Sting. Leela gets like poisoned, and she needs to wake up from a coma. Godfellas, Roswell that ends well, that won an Emmy, so that was the shit. So some of my favorite episodes. God, a lot of these are good. But what's like my favorite? Man, I know all these episodes because I've watched this show 1,000 times. The Farnsworth Paradox, not Paradox, Parabox, is a really good episode. That's where they go between all the kind of different realities, and they have slightly different color things, because in one reality, coin flips are the opposite of what happens in the original reality. That's a good one. But I think what I really like is all the earlier ones. Like everything from season one is so freaking solid. Like the first one where he gets frozen, and then he gets his roommate, which is Bender. It's just natural. It feels like it's just he needs to do all the regular things a human would need to do, but now it's in the future. And I like those kind of basic stories. Like, okay, you need to go to the doctor. What's that going to be like in the future? Oh, you need to go get like a car or something. Super interesting. As I'm talking about this, I remember the one where he becomes like a cop in the later one, which I thought was so interesting too. Like, yeah, he should be able to leave uh, Planet Express and kind of like do whatever. Where is that? Which one is that? What kind of rating did it get? Don't tell me you got something low. Law and Oracle. Where is it? There it is. See? High rating. Because it's fucking normal. We just want to see Fry and company doing some normal shit in the future. It doesn't have to be about weird shit. So yeah, I Roommate I think is a really good one. Law and Oracle from the newer stuff is cool. Parabox is a good one. My Three Sons, that one's just so funny to me. Where Fry drinks a bottle of water, but it's not. It's like the actual king of this planet or whatever, and then he takes over in his place. I'm like, oh god dang it. Of course he would. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, those are great. So I actually have a sealed volume one because that's how much I like it. Freaking sealed. Says 3-disc set from the creators of The Simpsons. Still got its sticker on it. Still got its plastic on it. Season one is solid. So I have a sealed copy that I found for not too much. And I really wish, and this is unfortunate, it's like, well, where do you get stories from, right? We have to rely on the writers. I'm like, oh, do you? Because there's honestly, like, look, I have the four trade paperback copies of the Futurama comics, and there's 83 issues of stories. So there, you could take something from this and adapt it for the show. There's no shortage of that. Or find those original writers. I don't know. But as it stands, I'm going to appreciate what has been and maybe not continue watching the new stuff. And I think I'll survive. Reread the comics. There's still a bunch of the issues that I haven't read yet, so I can find those and read those. Alright, so like I said, Meanwhile was like the last season finale, but it wasn't actually the last episode that featured the Futurama characters. We had to switch over to The Simpsons to find the Futurama characters one last time. I forgot to mention this earlier, so I'm going to add this in now. So Meanwhile, the episode called Meanwhile, aired on September 4th, 2013. However, the Simpsons Futurama crossover episode aired on November 9th, 2014. So let's see. That got a super high rating of 9.4. And most of these episodes, like if we had to take kind of the average, I don't know, like an 8 kind of. I mean, it's starting to dip obviously because it's reducing in the quality. But maybe around an 8, something like that. So I'm curious now. We're gonna have to jump over to The Simpsons to find that episode. You can see where Simpsons jumped the shark. Around here, maybe? Dang, really getting low. 6. 4. Oh my god. Lisa Goes Gaga. I don't know. I'm assuming Lady Gaga, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. So Simpsons probably suffering from the same issue as Futurama, but Simpsons didn't get canceled a dozen times. Just keeps on right on going. Okay, anyway. 6th episode of season 26. 26. What number? 6th of 26. It's one of these. Where is it? Is it rated higher? Oh yeah, cool. So I'm like, yeah, it's probably the highest rated episode of that whole season. Average rating 7.9. So okay, it's right on that bar. I did think it was a pretty cool episode. Super. I mean, yeah, like it's the same creator, right? So it's just interesting to see both of those groups of characters kind of interact. I remember there was a scene with Lisa Simpson with the holophoner because she plays a saxophone, and the holophoner is that futuristic saxophone that you play it and you can do all these kind of imagery and stuff. So yeah, there's like little elements like that which are really, really fun. So that was the actual last episode, and it was pretty good. And I think that was a good note to kind of end on. Like, okay, we finally did the crossover because it's the same creator and the same kind of animation style. And I felt like that was a good kind of note to end off on. We had our story. Fry and Leela got together in their time frozen whatever thing in that last season finale, series finale, and then we got one bonus episode with the crossover, and then cool, but there we go. We're done. The show is over. We had a good time with the characters, and now it's it, and that's done, and it's okay for these things to be done. We don't need to have them brought back terribly. I'm good with it. Figured out why the hell not. Let's look at some Bravest Warriors here. Such short episodes in the beginning, but so good. And then season 3 shot up. They're so interesting. It's like, where's this show going? And then the first part, and then kind of that middle part, that mid-series finale, I guess, shouldn't have to end this way. And starting off with the next episode, that's where, I mean, I feel like those episodes should have been at the end, honestly, but they kind of put them in the middle. That's where that shows the Bravest Warriors' parents, which is kind of the whole point of the show. It's like, where are they? And what has happened with them? The courageous battlers. And then, dude, kind of dip down. Some of these episodes not so good. It's like, where are we going here? Bunch of filler. And then it ends off with them finally finding their parents and facing off against the Aeon Worm. So pretty solid show. Look at that. You can see through the power of numbers that it's good, better, interesting, dips down, and then ends off. Not the strongest, but still, strong enough that I can rewatch all this stuff. So Bravest Warriors starts off with a lot of viewers. It took a couple years to kind of have that next season. And then this was unavailable to kind of everybody. They put it on some weird streaming platform, which is a terrible idea. I think they know better now, but they needed funding or something. There's a whole crazy backstory to it. And I really like Bravest Warriors, and I have some of those figures. And that's actually one of the things that I need to work on. So let me work on the Bravest Warriors figures now. Work on my sci-fi shelf. And we'll get that sorted looking good. And that's what we're doing. So stay tuned. Okay, if I did my other video part correctly, then it should feed directly into this part, which is unfinished business. So I have the sci-fi shelf. I really like it, but I needed to do a little bit more work on it. One of those things I was waiting to hear back from my brother because I wasn't sure what to do. If you remember, I have 2 Chris Kirkmans. And I was like, what do I do with these? I want to open one because Wallow was out of the package, hanging out by himself. And I have the other 2. I got Beth and Danny in packages. And I was like, I need to open one, at least one, for all my Bravest Warriors stuff. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know which one to open. I had a bunch of problems with both of them. And so I heard back from my brother, and I think he's a genius. The correct answer is to open both of them and create a better combination. So that's what we're going to do today. Like some stickiness on there too. I'll have to clean that later. So this one, so this is what I need to do. I need to open both of these. The backing for this one's better. The plastic's better for this one. One of these guys is going to go out, and one of them is going to go into the package. One of them is going to go into the package, and then I'll just tape it up. And I'll put it in storage or whatever, and it'll be all good. So let's see. Open these up the collector's way like I always do. This one is the yellow one, so it doesn't really matter. Let's do this one first, because I'm like nervous about cutting it right. And we're off. I know this is a little sketchy because I should be cutting away from myself, but got a little bit more control going this way. Please don't cut my thumb on camera, that would be embarrassing. Come on. Ugh. Oh, come on. What happened here? Alright, there we go. Okay, that's one open. This is the backing card we're going to keep, but we're not going to put with these plastic. So get out of here. This is the one with the junky eyeball. Junky, is that a word? I don't know, you know what I mean. Come here, dude. Come out of there. Sweet. One Chris Kirkman free. Okay, this is the plastic we're keeping. Next up, nasty ass yellow packaging. Man, that yellow packaging sucks. It can be something like super awesome, Like even like the Super Nintendos, they had a bad batch of the plastic. So the top and the bottom of the shell. Oh god, I'm being so lazy now with this because I like know that I don't give a fuck about this yellow plastic. But yeah, the yellowing of the plastic on the Super Nintendos was pretty nasty too. Sorry, I just realized that this camera is like attached here and it's probably hella shaking. Hold on, I gotta focus. I'm like trying to talk while I'm trying to cut this thing. Come on, you fuck. Alright. So the idea is that this goes with this now. But I think, yeah, that yellowing makes it look kind of gross, but then when you take it off, it's all like perfect in there. This guy should probably go into the other one. Gotta get the back. What was I saying earlier? Yeah, the Super Nintendos have that yellowing plastic, so you gotta be careful that you don't get one with yellow plastic. But back in the day, people didn't know, because it was like after years the plastic would start to change that color. I looked it up and it was like some kind of chemical imbalance in the plastic production. Where did I look it up? I don't know. Some Reddit place. Reddit's got everything. Okay, comparing these two. Which one goes in the storage? Yeah, definitely this one. Alright, that is this thing. Go over there. Mix and match. Thanks, bro, for the advice. You would think something like, oh, collecting toys, collecting cards, all this stuff, whatever, would be like easy, but sometimes there's some real philosophical debates going on, and what do I do? Alright, so check out that combination. We got good plastic on a good board with a better figure. Perfect combination. And we got one loose. So now that can hang out with Wallow. Alright. Resolution. We got resolve now for this dilemma that we had. Dope. Alright, so I'm going to throw these guys, I'm going to throw this guy up on the shelf. This guy I'll just put in one of my storage bins for later. So with that, webs out, peace out. So these guys are actually kind of bendy. The Wallow is not bendy at all. Just a big old hunk of plastic. But this guy can actually bend his arms and his legs and stuff. Ah! So I guess we can kind of have him doing something. Whoa, his hands are facing the wrong way. That was really confusing. I know there's some other Bravest Warriors toys out there. I only know of this set and then the other one, but the other one you can take his gloves off, which is pretty cool. But they are not cheap, so I decided to go for these bendable ones. All right, let's stick them on the shelf. Both got that whooshy hair. Fry and Chris Kirkman. Whooshy hair guys. Alright, so that's my sci-fi shelf. Got a cat bug, got Beth, got Fry, Chris Kirkman, Wallow, Amy, and Danny. I don't know why I keep saying his full name. Chris. I took off one of the cat bugs because it was a little bit too cluttered, and because I have another bigger one right here. So we're all good on cat bugs.